at the time, comes out and says, I don't think she was doing it on purpose. The coach says that. Go all the way to the front. This is how she plays. Look,
damn, girl.
She's obviously very sweet. She doesn't at all have any negative intent. Yeah, at all. She doesn't hit hard, and she plays very clean basketball.
Another white privilege.
And watch what she does to the eyes. You see?
Ooh, wow. The play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real time.
That's her in the back.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Went straight to a press conference.
So you can pause it right there.
And that's her right there.
That's her in the back, and that's the foul.
Here comes kindness.
I stand by them. I will always stand by them.
Amen.
Everybody else can go to hell.
Oh, wait a minute.
Kindness.
Wait a minute.
So you know what? We need kindness.
Grace.
They go high, you go.
Grace. Sounds like a wholesome Christian. And goes, hey, by the way, go to hell, and then you leave.
Walking,
talking contradiction.
Everybody else is trying to divide our locker room. No. Not having your players back will do quite the adequate job at doing that.
Patrick Bet David didn't waste any time. He pulled up the footage, looked straight into the camera, and said what a lot of people were already thinking. According to him, Stephanie White saw the play happen in real time, and instead of being honest about it immediately, she tried to walk it back later once the criticism became too loud to ignore.
Dejanay Carrington clothesline from hell incident the other day, in which she came out and said, oh, Dejanay's she's not a dirty player. She just plays real hard. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, look, she turns into the Charlie Brown teacher pretty quickly with a lot of people. At least with me, she does. The moment I realize she's going to do it again and not back her own player, yeah, I'm out. I got to tell you, one of the most obvious traits of a terrible leader, not taking any responsibility.
Here's where it starts. DJ Carrington goes up for what appears to be a block attempt on Sophie Cunningham, but instead makes contact across her neck area. Cunningham immediately goes down and has to be checked by trainers on the sideline. Officials review the play, rule it a flagrant 2, and Carrington is ejected before the broadcast even finishes showing the replay from another angle.
Immediately, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White walked past her own player Sophie Cunningham to check on Dejanay Carrington after the hard foul.
Nobody in that arena needed a slow-motion replay to know it looked bad. If you watch Stephanie White on the sideline at the exact moment it happened, her attention appears to be fixed on the play. She is not looking at a clipboard, talking to an assistant, or facing the other direction. She is watching the action unfold live, just a short distance from her own bench. That detail matters because it became a major point of debate later. A few days afterward, critics argued that White's comments seemed very different from what they believed the video showed, turning the focus away from the foul itself and toward questions about how the incident was initially interpreted and later explained.
Look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did, but it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul, but I also don't think that she intentionally.
Right after the game, reporters asked Stephanie White about the foul, and she did not hesitate. She said DJ Carrington plays with maximum effort every night, that opponents are never going to get easy baskets against her, and that she personally did not have an issue with a hard foul in that situation. White also said she did not believe Carrington intentionally targeted Cunningham's neck, despite being only a few feet away when the play happened. To critics, that was not the response of a coach who completely missed the incident. It looked more like the response of someone willing to give the benefit of the doubt to a player she had previously coached for 2 seasons in Connecticut.
I can't believe that Stephanie White kind of stood up for Carrington. You would never see Shell Reeve, Becky Hammond doing this. You may think something, but you sit in a press conference and say that in front of your team? You don't do that. That's how you lose the team. The team will go against you. What? I'm blown away by that. You can think, oh, I used to coach her, talk to her on the side, whatever, but you don't go on national news and basically put down your own.
Right after the game, reporters asked Stephanie White about the foul, and she did not hesitate. She said DJ Carrington plays her heart out every night, that nobody is getting an easy layup against her, and that she personally did not object to the hard foul. White also said she did not believe Carrington intentionally went after Cunningham's neck, despite being only a few feet away when the play unfolded. This was not a coach commenting on a player she barely knew from another organization. It was someone who had coached Carrington for 2 seasons in Connecticut, understood her personality, and knew her competitive style better than most. That is why critics argue that when the moment came to describe the foul exactly as it appeared, White chose to soften it instead.
Why is Fever coach Stephanie White defending Dejanay Carrington over her own player? That is absolutely bizarre, considering you can watch the replay of that and it was absolutely unacceptable what happened to Cunningham. Both Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Collins are wonderful role models for young children, and they play the game exceptionally well. Sophie Cunningham said that the hit by Dejanay Carrington was intentional, but Sophie Cunningham's coach sided with Carrington. Carrington is a Chicago Sky Guard that was once coached by White. I just can't understand why the WNBA is not doing more to protect their players. When Stephanie White was interviewed, she said she doesn't oppose the foul, but she definitely doesn't think it was intentional. That Carrington plays her butt off. That's a pretty generous interpretation of what happened to.
The reaction to that press conference was immediate, and it was anything but quiet. Fans inside the arena were visibly upset as soon as the replay appeared on the Jumbotron. Within hours, clips of the hit had spread across social media, piling up millions of views by the next morning. Analysts kept returning to the same question. How does a flagrant 2 that visibly injures a player get described by that player's own coach as something she does not oppose? As the criticism grew louder, the pressure on Stephanie White continued to build. And that growing pressure helps explain what happened just a few days later, when White appeared in front of a different set of cameras and delivered a noticeably different version of the story.
I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference. I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over and over on replay, you can see that. I didn't have that in real time.
Were there any
I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players back. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time.
3 days after the incident, Stephanie White stepped in front of the media again, and her tone was noticeably different. This time, she said she had not actually seen the play unfold in real time, explaining that she went directly from the bench to her media obligations and only later realized how serious the contact looked after watching the replay. White also pushed back against suggestions that she failed to support her players, insisting that she stands behind every member of the roster without exception. The problem, according to critics, is that the original broadcast appears to show her watching the play as it happened. She is not looking away, dealing with a substitution, or focused on something else. She seems to have a clear view of the action from the sideline. Once people began comparing that footage with her later explanation, questions started to grow. For many observers, the issue was no longer just the foul itself. It became whether White's updated account matched what the cameras appeared to capture that night.
See it.
Say about the play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real
time. That's her in the back.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Straight to a press conference.
So you can pause it right there.
And that's her right there.
That's her in the back, and that's the foul. What do you mean you can't see the foul?
Unbelievable.
And she says she got a better view than some of the referees got. And then this is how she comes and cries on TV about the criticism she got. How dare people on social media call her out? Go for it.
What really got people talking online was what happened next. Someone took the original sideline footage and placed it side by side with White's later comments, breaking the sequence down frame by frame. To many viewers, it became difficult to reconcile the two. White appeared to be watching the play from beginning to end, her attention fixed on the action as it unfolded. Whatever she saw, critics argued, she saw it in real time, not for the first time days later on a replay. That immediately led to the question everyone started asking. Why did the explanation change? The answer many observers pointed to was also the simplest one. Stephanie White had coached DJ Carrington before and knew her personally. As the backlash intensified and the controversy grew beyond the game itself, some people began to wonder whether preserving that relationship influenced how White chose to describe what happened. Whether that interpretation is fair remains part of the debate, but it is the reason the conversation shifted from the foul itself to questions about credibility and accountability.